welcome all of you to the 30th anniversary of the Heritage Railway and Carousel Company.
Oh, yes.
My name's Ralph Celentano, and I've been privileged to be the chair of this anniversary celebration. This has come to you with a lot of planning and forethought for the last year. My colleagues in the committee are Don Coots, Fran Wilson, and Red Carousel. Please give them a round of applause for all the hard work they've done. As you can see, we have a number of people seated in front of you. Those people were instrumental in the development of this beautiful waterfront we celebrate, bar none. No other community has such a beautiful landscape than North Bay, Ontario. We have our local dignitaries who will have a short moment to acknowledge the crowd and the efforts from all of these volunteers. But I want to take a moment and thank two persons in particular, Stan Lawlor and Rod Johnston. They are the gentlemen who came up with the creation of a recognition of our city's heritage, namely the miniature railway. And in order to preserve the heritage of our city, the heritage of rail, this became a reality July 29th, 1994, with the official opening of the Heritage Railway Company on our waterfront here in North Bay. A lot of hard work went into that first effort. The steam and diesel engine and the two coaches were purchased in October of 1993 in Cleveland, Ohio. They arrived here in North Bay in the winter of February of that year, of 94. The gentlemen organized volunteers. A lot of them are past, but there's a number of them here today with us that we will be celebrating with you. They refurbished engines, they refurbished coaches, they sandblasted, they painted. During this period, a large contingent of retired railway workers from the CNR, the CPR, the ONR, and even our own City of North Bay employees were enlisted and engaged, over 50 people, to at least make that effort become a reality and build a rail line. The actual rail line, a half a mile, was completed in 1 week. Remarkable. In '96, they had a station erected, the one behind me. It's a van or a caboose as we know it. It was a gift from the CPR. Then the volunteers continued on and built a car barn in 1998. So you could see the progression as it moved along. Those volunteers we are celebrating today had in total over 900 years of rail experience. We believe our heritage is important, and the charter volunteers that we are about to acknowledge are recognized with mileage or mile marker posts that you will see when you travel the train. We've added a couple of names throughout the years who are key representatives of the growth of the railway, to include people like Barry Jacobs, who is an active volunteer who brought an idea to Rod Johnston and said, perhaps a carousel would be a good idea. And we all know how that transpired. A meeting was held at the home of Edna Scott. Edna, stand to be recognized, please. She too was a local carousel enthusiast, and a business plan was developed. The administration of the City of North Bay were approached and quite supportive of our proposal. By July the 1st, 2002, we opened the first carousel, 33 horses. A number of them came from Montana. A number of the horses came from Montana. Missoula. See, I have some expert testimony here. And they were also brought to life by the number of carousel horses that were done by our own North Bay Woodcarvers Club and painted by our local artists. Some of you will see in the gallery this afternoon. Each of the horses were put up for adoption and were adopted in about 3 months flat. Remarkable turn of events for our community to respond. Vic, I know you were in the line for probably one of the first ones, right? Other parts of the carousel were then put up for adoption, and the raising of the funds to pay for the horses, the painting, the refurbishment, all to the delight of the thousands of riders. Right, Tony? Lots of City of North Bay work on this one. Our Winter Wonderland Carousel opened in July 1st, 2005. Hundreds of volunteers who have continued to maintain staffing, all the repair work, the maintenance, and we are proud to host so many out-of-town and local guests every year from May until October. According to our guest book and statistician Bill White, we have seen over 28 different countries through our guest book this year alone. Our volunteers annually select a local charity and vote each year to support other communities' initiatives in our city. I'm going to go through the list of those who helped us build the railway, starting of course with former Mayor Stan Lawlor, Rod Johnston, President Orville Sullivan. God bless you, Orville, 97 years old. There's many photos in our static display that you will see the actual construction and building of the carousel and the railway, thanks to the photos donated and loaned to us today. I encourage you all to please go over and have a look. We continue with Stan Corbeil, Bill Sands, Len Fournier, Skip House, Dick Smith, very important part of our volunteer corps, as he was our chief mechanic for many years. Tom Lloyd, Rick Lavery, Bobby Amo sends his regrets. He's in Renfrew, unable to attend today. Paul Campbell, Merle Reed, Jack Sear, George Bud Thompson. How many of us remember Bud Thompson? I know David is here. We thank him for being here in attendance. Elfio Cappadocia, right here, another one of our longtime volunteers. Not only did he help create it, but he stuck around for a good 28, 29 years. Volunteering, we appreciate your time. Colin Vesna, everyone appreciative of Colin. I appreciate, Colin, all your help and support of getting our day organized and all the research that was done. Hugh McDonald, former teacher of Chippewa. Ed McCullough, Don Duquette, Albert Costanti. Is Albert's family here? Albert is 100 years old, still living in the area. We will acknowledge Albert today, and we will be passing on some recognition to him as well. Don Porter, Jim Shields. We have something called the Corrections Lookout, and that was a nice story that we engaged members of the Corrections North Bay Jail, and they helped us in our final week of putting the train tracks in place. We had Bobby McIntyre, everybody remembers Bobby, Ivan Kennelly, Ken LaFleur, Norm Oglestone, Don McMullen, Frank Lefebvre, Kenny Craig, we named Barry earlier, Richard Smith, Gerald Nantel, Paul Gauthier Bridge is named in Paul, thanks for his contribution, Armin Heward, and Bob Faulkner. For any of you who have noticed in the Small Town Times online and Bay Today magazine, there's a nice story featured with our 30th anniversary. Thanks to Dave Dale for that effort. I'm going to ask our invited guest to say a couple of words, and then we'll be making presentations to a few of our longtime train members. So first, may I invite Mayor Chirico to say a few words?
Thanks, Ralph, and welcome everyone. On behalf of City Council and the entire city of North Bay, I want to say a huge thank you to all of the people that most are in red, but that created this legacy project. And that's exactly what it was, a legacy project. This brings people from far and wide to our city, but it doesn't happen without all of the tremendous volunteers that do the job day in, day out, rain, shine, you name it. I think maybe the winter might be a little cold, but we'll deal with that at some point in the future. But I just do want to say on behalf of our entire city, thank you so much. Thank you to the people that started this, that had the vision, that saw the vision, and then executed it. And this is what we have today. The jewel of our waterfront that just completes it. So on behalf of our entire citizens, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Churko. Could I invite our Member of Provincial Parliament, Vic Fideli, please?
Ralph asked us to be short, so I will just simply say this is nothing short of spectacular. Congratulations to everybody who's involved for the vision and for the camaraderie that you've developed and the fun you've shared. I can't even begin to imagine how much darn fun you guys had together. That's just absolutely super to see that. You look happy, you look satisfied. I know you can't wait to ride the train, which is the same for all of us. So congratulations to everybody. Well done.
Thank you, Vic. Our Member of Parliament, Anthony Rhoda.
Thank you, Ralph. It's a pleasure to be here, and it's an emotional time. It's interesting. I was pulling in with the car, and there was this young girl, probably about 4 years old, 4 years old, running to come to the train. And it brought back a lot of memories of my daughter that I used to bring here on a regular basis. She's now 27. She still likes the train, but not as much as she used to. But this has touched so many families here in North Bay, across the riding, and right across Canada. And Bill was saying we saw some people here from Chile, all over the world. This puts North Bay and Nipissing-Temiskaming on the map. And I know it's not always easy, but the volunteers who are coming out, when I see red shirts, normally I get all excited because it's a good thing, but that's a whole other thing. But I look at the red shirts and I think, wow, these are all people who dedicated themselves to making sure that the railway runs and it works. And that's something that's not always easy, organizing people. So to all of you who have volunteered over the years, I want to thank you on behalf of the Government of Canada for keeping this alive. The railway is something that's important to North Bay. It's something important to Canada. It's part of our heritage, so it's very appropriate that we call it the Heritage Railway. So to all of you who are here today, thank you for showing up to help celebrate. And to all the volunteers who have been here over the years and are here today, thank you from the bottom of my heart. Ralph, I guess I've got a certificate here. Is it okay if I hand it to...
Please read it.
Just basically congratulating the Heritage Railway and Carousel as you celebrate your 30th anniversary on August 31st. Thank you for bringing 30 years of excellence to our waterfront. Best of luck in the future, and I'm looking forward to bringing my grandchildren here. Thank you again.
We had a great morning. We had the Rorab Shrine Clown Unit being engaged with the kids. We have mascots here. We have Sarge from the hockey team, the North Bay Battalion. We had Sparky, our fire safety Dalmatian from the fire department. City Police is here with radar shortly. A&W, thank you. Friendly from Giant Tiger, thank you. It's all for the kids. The smiles that I see on all these volunteers, 130 volunteers, thereabouts every year, show up for 30 years. That's how we're successful. So to Fran, our coordinator, and everybody who's been a part of it, thank you. Lo and behold, today of all days, after 30 years of operation, we have found our 2-millionth rider. 30 years, 2 million people have come through our turnstiles. Remarkable. All paying cash, right, Don? No debit, no credit, it's cash. Makes the books a whole lot easier. We would like to acknowledge our 2 millionth rider today when she's ready to come forward. Her name is Emma Courvoisier. we're never as successful for legacy and generations to come. We've compiled a little bit of souvenirs, a little bit from the front. Some of our great, is this a merchandising opportunity or what? If you haven't visited our kiosk or our souvenir booth, I wanted to tell you one quick story. Okay, we've got lots. She's getting one of everything. In the bag, there's a story by an author by the name of Marla Hayes and Martha Atma, illustrated by Sky Hilliard. Although Marla, I don't believe Marla is with us, the story is about a magical midnight rescue of one of the horses called Sam, and there was another horse called Sir Wins-a-Lot. If we didn't have contributions like Wingate Lottery, Kathy Strawn, and all of the adopters and all of the donors, beautiful memories and keepsakes like this would never have happened. So I acknowledge Wingate Lotteries, Kathy Strawn, and all the energy from all the adopters. You know who you are. We have got beautiful books over there identifying the beautiful donations of art and talent. I see Arlie Hoffman here. I see Jack Lockhart here. Janet Comerford, all the artists. Maybe I'm going to let Edna come up and say a few words. How about that? Edna, I'd like you to present this to our 2-millionth rider. Could you do that for me, please?
Congratulations. Look at that. I just wanted to say that I'm grateful every day. We should all be grateful. The city of North Bay should be grateful to the train to start off with this incredible show for North Bay. We should be grateful to Barry Jacobs for the idea, for Rod Johnston for carrying it through, and most of all, I'm grateful that they included me. My 10-year-old self would never have believed that I could have been involved in such a project. There were over 300 artists that were involved. Some are here today. We all have great hair. Believe it or not, mine is gray. And some of us are still working on the carousel horses. We take 2 or 3 off every year and give them a new paint job. So it's an ongoing effort, and it's an effort of love. Thank you.
A little bit of history, a little bit of trivia. Do you remember Pavoni's Donuts on Lakeshore Drive? Emma is the great-grandchild of the Pavoni clan.
Yeah, not much of a
Aren't we lucky or what, Lucho?
We are.
We have plaques that are engraved for each of you, and I'm going to read one with our 30th anniversary dates and today's date with our crest, the Heritage Railway and Carousel Company, and it's got your mile marker logo on it, along with your name. In recognition of your outstanding efforts establishing the North Bay Waterfront Miniature Railway attraction. I just happen to have Elfio Cappadocia. Would you step up, please? Turn for cameras. Where's Rhoda? Oh, he was looking for you earlier.
It's going our way.
Here I am.
It's flying in our way.
Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you. I got it.
Mr. Colin Besna. David, turn this. We got a former nugget for that. Thank you. It's all yours. You can put it back in the box. To my newest friend, Orville Sullivan. We had one for Mr. Costanti. Unfortunately, I don't remember hearing any of his family is here. We'll get that delivered to him. Dr. Rod Johnston, please. Right here. Our co-founder is also in receipt of a flag that he can fly proudly in his yard. It's the same flag as our crest that's flying up here today.
Oh, nice.
Oh, great. Thank you.
Add that to your backyard collection. Now you need a flagpole. Tracy, I didn't know you didn't have a flagpole. Sorry, Tracy. I'm going to invite our treasurer, Don Coots, please, for a special dedication.
Thank you, Ralph, for doing our ceremony and taking the lead on the 30th anniversary for us this year. We have one other dedication, if you want to call that. That's what Ralph's notes of dedication. I said, So we have the sign markers. As you take the train around, you'll see the original volunteers that were involved with the construction of the train 30 years ago, and their names up there. Plus, we also added shortly after that Barry Jacobs, who was quite involved with getting the big carousel. We found out earlier this year, Dan Pigeau phoned me one day and said, Don, we're missing names on the 1000th marker down at the East End. Who should we have? Well, we talked about names, and then unfortunately Dan died about 6 or 7 weeks ago. But Dan didn't know, but a couple of us did that. On that marker, we were going to put two names. Pigeau for Dan and Hal Saunders. Now, Hal was quite involved after a year or so afterwards, and he was the treasurer and did a number of things for the train carousel. So, Spencer, if you would unveil the dirty shirt sign there behind your mother. We'll pull it.
Oh, nice.
So that sign will be later, either today or early next week, installed down the far loop as you come around the east loop. So as an honor of those two people. Unfortunately, Hal Saunders was unable to come up from Mississauga for it, but we'll get a picture and send it down to him on that. So I'll turn it back to Ralph for the final remarks.
For anybody who had any involvement with Stage 1, Stage 2, or Stage 3, all of our volunteers were presented, right, Teddy?
Yes.
With a 30th anniversary commemorative lapel pin. We have honored all of our people today with one. If you have not received a lapel pin, please come and approach myself, Fran, or Dawn, and we will furnish you with one, because your name is on a pylon somewhere here, and it's so nice to meet so many people, hundreds of people that have been involved with this project. With that, we're going to take a train ride. We have designated VIPs to go on the train, and Dawn is going to shout out the names of the first trip, followed by the next train. And then it's afternoon fun continues. Thank you for your attention, everyone.
Great job, Ralph.